right. Hello. Today we are here with Frank Sciremammano, partner at Lathrop GPM. How are you doing today, Frank?
Good. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. We are going to talk today for our top franchise legal players series. So if you want to kind of kick it off for us, let us know, how did you end up specializing in franchise law? What drew you to the field?
Yeah, sure. So I kind of fell into franchise law, to be honest with you, in more specifically franchise litigation. I primarily represent franchisors in disputes with franchisees and other stakeholders in the franchise relationship and the franchise system. But I totally fell into it. So I went to law school at Syracuse University, and after graduating, I practiced for a few years in upstate New York doing commercial litigation and environmental litigation. And as part of a relocation to the Washington, D.C. area, I found this firm, Lathrop GPM. It was called Great Plant Moody back when I joined. And I found this practice group, and it looked like a really great opportunity, great fit for me, and a great platform for me. We're one of the largest franchise law practice groups in the world. We represent some of the largest franchise brands to some of the smallest franchise brands, and everything in between. Um, so it just seemed like a really cool opportunity for me without knowing anything about franchising, right? I was totally green. I had no idea. But I'm so glad that I did take that opportunity and took that shot. I've been working in franchise law ever since. And I'm really glad that I'm here with this team doing it, because I was able to learn franchise law from some of the real giants of the franchise law community. I mean, I'm talking about people who developed this area of the law over the last 20, 30, 40 years. I got a chance to work with them and to learn from them, and that's really been a really incredible opportunity for me.
Excellent. That's so exciting. So, what do you think is the biggest legal hurdle facing the franchising industry at the end of 2021 and leading into 2022?
Sure. So that's a really tough question, and I'm not sure there is one answer, right? I think that there's been a lot of data privacy and data security challenges over the last couple of years. There's been joint employer challenges over the last few years, and those might continue to percolate, I think. One thing we're hearing about are potential concerns, I should say, about regulatory challenges, increased regulatory challenges, both in terms of legislation and new regulation, and in terms of enforcement actions brought by the state and federal government under existing laws and regulations. Another thing we're starting to see, and I think we can continue to expect to see over the next couple of years, legal issues surrounding supply chain challenges in franchise systems. I think franchisors would be well advised to start thinking now about how to deal with those hurdles. The product shortages, alternate suppliers, those sorts of issues, and how are you going to maintain the franchisee relationships in the face of those issues? I think you want to be thinking about those now actively before a dispute arises, and to mitigate any potential future disputes.
Those are some great points. All right, so what do you think is the most common mistake that you see franchise brands making from a legal perspective?
Yeah, so I think the most common mistake franchise brands making from a legal perspective is not taking a proactive approach in enforcing their system or brand standards. Brand standards and system standards to me are kind of the lifeblood of the franchise system, right? It's everything from the method of operation to the products you can sell to the equipment that you use to conduct the business to the look and feel of the franchised outlet. And they're really crucial to maintaining consistency and quality throughout a system. And I think making sure system standards are being followed is really critically important to protecting the goodwill of the brand. And I think that is one of the largest assets that a franchise system has, right, is the goodwill of the brand. And I think you can do that in a collaborative manner with franchisees, right? I think everyone has to be on the same page and everyone has a seat at the table when you have those discussions. I think that's how the strongest systems generally operate. But it's all about kind of growing the pie together, right? How can we make the pie bigger so everyone's slice of the pie is bigger? And I think maintaining system standards, making sure that those are followed, is really part of that, and it can really add a lot of value from a legal perspective to the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so pivoting just a little bit, what do you love about working with franchises?
So I usually work on the franchisor side of the equation, right? But I love kind of working more generally in the franchising industry for a few reasons. First, I think franchising is really part of the path to the American dream for so many people, right? Whether it's buying your first business or working your first job or anywhere in between on that, right? It's just been a very useful useful thing for our society and for our economy, right? I think modern franchising is an American creation that we're exporting across the world, and I think it's worked really well to distribute wealth and to generate economic activity and to employ millions of people. Satisfy consumer demand. I think it's really important for our society and economy. I have family members who are franchisees. I have friends who are franchisees. I have friends who are franchisors, and I think it's just a really important business format. I also like working in franchising because I think the businesses are fascinating. I love digging into the systems and learning kind of how a system ticks and what makes it great and what makes it profitable. And I guess finally, I'd say that I really like practicing in the franchise law field because it touches on so many different disciplines, right? You have contract law, you have regulatory law, you have tort issues, you have unfair competition issues, there's intellectual property challenges, and it really it keeps you on your toes. Every day is different, and I really like that aspect of it as well.
Excellent. All right, so final question today. What is one thing that you think every prospective franchisee should know before joining a franchise brand?
Yeah, so this is a good question. I'm usually not asked this because I'm usually on the franchisor side, so hopefully I can give you kind of a unique answer here. And that's that I think every prospective franchisee should really think critically about whether they enjoy following a system before they purchase a franchise. Do you enjoy executing on an operational plan? I think that the system in the franchise relationship is kind of the essence or the hallmark of it, right? It's reduced risk. It's your streamlined business operations. It's your quicker pathway to profitability. But in order for the system to work, every franchisee has to follow that system. And if you want to get into business because you want to be creative, because you want to develop your own systems and your own operations and your own IP, and you want to tweak those things as you grow, that's great. And you might be a very creative entrepreneur, and that's fantastic. But franchising might not be the best option for you. Or maybe you want to go in the direction of starting your business and becoming a franchisor and licensing your system to others. So I think franchising is a great opportunity for so many people, but it's really all about doing that due diligence. And I think due diligence is just so important before you make a big decision like that. So that would be my advice. Don't skimp on your due diligence.
Absolutely. It's a great point. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. This has been great.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.